This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, a multi-million-dollar package was announced today which will go towards helping the education of southern Rangatahi. The plane has finally landed in Queenstown, marking the first international flight to the city in almost a year. And a group of determined riders brace the freezing Southern Alps on their scooters, all in the name of charity. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Phil Vaughan. The Associate Minister of Education paid a flying visit to Dunedin Kura today, following up on last week's budget. As part of that, Finance Minister Grant Robinson announced a $47 million package targeting Māori education. And this morning, Kelvin Davis spelled out what that means for southern Rangatahi.
Associate Education Minister Kelvin Davis welcomed to Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Otipoti on Tuesday in Dunedin, flanked by Te Taitonga MP Rino Tirakatene. The pair say more than $1 billion was earmarked for Kaupapa Māori initiatives in last week's budget, with a $47 million package aimed at improving outcomes in Māori education, something Davis is passionate about.
I was a kaiako and I was a tūmaki myself before I got into politics, and so Māori education holds a special place in my heart. I was a principal up in Kaitaia.
He says the government plans to continue investing and growing a strong and capable workforce for the Māori education sector in partnership with local iwi. Davis told children and teachers in Fairfield that part of the multi-million-dollar investment will go towards improving facilities, both here in the south and around Aotearoa.
So this will benefit 17,000 taitamariki and their whānau at 215 kura in schools, and will allow each kura with an average size of 80 taitamariki to hire one additional staff member.
Currently, only 10% of children who identify as Māori take part in full immersion Māori education. Davis wants this to triple by 2040, which means 3,000 to 4,000 kaiako Māori fluent in te reo will be needed nationwide. In Dunedin, the South Today.
With New Zealand expecting to see Omicron cases rise during the winter, the orange setting remains appropriate for managing this stage of the outbreak. COVID Response Minister Chris Hipkins says even though the number of people with COVID-19 has flattened out over the past few months, he believes winter could increase a spike in cases. He says the COVID-19 protection framework has effectively managed the Omicron outbreak at Orange. The Minister is urging all who are immunocompromised or at higher risk of long-term health impacts from the infection to please get boosted if they haven't already. The next review of the traffic light setting is due for the end of June. Queenstown has finally received its first flight from our Trans-Tasman cousins in almost a year. It's taken a lot of work and patience, but the city was able to welcome in the Qantas aeroplane, much to the relief of some.
A warm welcome back for our friends across the ditch. The first direct flight from Australia to Queenstown in 330 days touched down on Monday afternoon. Qantas flight QF121 landed a little late, carrying 172 restless passengers. But the delay was worth the wait as families and loved ones were finally reunited after a long time apart. Queenstown Airport CEO Glenn Sowry says that having visitors back is significant for local tourism.
But the real cream on the cake is getting Australia back today, which accounts for around a third of all passengers in and out of Queenstown.
The last time Australians could fly direct to Queenstown was during last year's short-lived Trans-Tasman bubble, which opened on April 19, 2021. This time around, it's hoped the borders will stay open for good. That'll help Queenstown's economy to start to grow back to pre-COVID levels and allow tourists to once again enjoy what the home of adventure has to offer. Minister of Tourism Stuart Nash says he's excited for what this border opening means for Queenstown.
And so it's really, when I was going to say it's the beginning of the end, this is what we've been waiting for so long. You look at the International Arrivals Board and there is a plane up there. It's really cool to see, actually.
The first flight contained a mix of family and friends alongside regular travellers just keen for a break.
What's the plan while you're here? Spend a lot of money.
help people here and enjoy. Yeah,
Go to the restaurants and do some hiking.
Good on you. How long are you here for?
Just a week.
Awesome. What have you got planned?
We're actually sussing out our wedding venue. So we want to get married in South Island. So yeah, we've got a recon trip planned.
Passengers were greeted by Mayor Jim Bolt and his wife, airport boss Glenn Sowery, Destination Queenstown Chairman Richard Thomas, and Tourism Minister Stuart Nash. The new arrivals were given special gift bags to mark the happy touchdown. Emotions high as loved ones embrace, celebrating being able to reunite on this side of the Tasman. In Queenstown, the South Today.
A group of young eco-warriors, armoured in gloves and beanies, braved the biting cold, helping preserve the environment around Lake Mahinarangi. About 20 pupils from Lee Stream School cut in with spades to place plants yesterday morning, helped by the school and their families. Principal Rochelle Moores says the boat ramp is an area all the pupils use. Being a rural school, all the children were keen on conservation, and they look forward to seeing the tussocks progress whenever they came near the lake. The plants were supplied by Manawa Energy with funding from local Thornycroft and Waipori farms. Almost 30 riders on highly decorated 50cc scooters took to the roads around Canterbury over the weekend to raise money for the Cancer Society. The 240-kilometre Trans-Alpine Scooter Safari saw riders travel from Christchurch through to Hokitika, battling freezing temperatures as they rode across the Southern Alps.
It's not your usual bike rally. Buzzy Bees, Woodsman, superheroes and even Darth Vader lined up at the weekend for one of the Cancer Society's biggest fundraisers of the year. The Transalpine Scooter Safari from Christchurch to Hokitika is held every second year. 290 riders braved the brisk wintry conditions to hit the road for the challenging 240-kilometre trek. Fundraising manager Heather Locke says although the ride is all about having fun, it was safety first.
We're not racing technically, that's very important. This is just more of a parade.
The first Scooter Safari started in 2009, with 32 riders raising $14,000. The event has snowballed since then, raising a total of $1.4 million along the way.
The origin story came from a lovely person named Blair Newton in 2009 who was diagnosed with bowel cancer. So his friends have created this event and they all wrote it together.
And riders of all ages and all walks of life are now taking part, travelling to the event from across the country.
Our oldest person doing this is 85 years old. He collects money in a bucket because he's not very tech savvy, he doesn't do it online.
She admits sore bums at the end were guaranteed, but almost $350,000 was raised for the Cancer Society, helping ease the pain. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, an arty new look at Dunedin Airport, and our region's next generation come to grips with the sci-fi future. See you soon.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. Every day the team at Gillian supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today.
Living Well Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
Spark your joy with jazz, the next generation from Honda.
Hi, we're H Concern Otago.
H Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including little walks.
Welcome back. Dunedin Airport has unveiled a giant mural on the outside of its terminal building to celebrate its 60th anniversary. The large painted image recreates a photo taken in 2005 when Prince Charles visited the city as part of a Royal New Zealand tour.
It's an image that'll greet visitors arriving into Dunedin and those departing the city by air. This giant colourful mural was unveiled at Dunedin Airport on Monday as part of celebrations of its 60th anniversary. The image on the front of the terminal building depicts an historic hongi between Prince Charles and the late Kuau Langsbury, then the head of Te Runanga or Atako.
So welcome everyone, greetings on this pretty special day, and also to the Langsbury whānau who are here. This is their papa, their poa, in 2005 when we met with Prince Charles at Popekura. Nō reira, ko tēnei mihi atu kia koutou mō te kai toi, mō tēnei whakāhua, mō tēnei mahi toi, tēnei mihi.
Kuau Langsbury was a descendant of Karatai, one of the signatories to the Treaty of Waitangi. The artwork's based on a photo taken by Kuau's son, Hawani Langsbury, who works as the eco-tourism manager at the Otago Peninsula Trust.
I would have never thought when I took that photograph back in 2005 at the entrance to Otago Harbour, where all those people that now settled here had travelled past at Popekura, which was such a significant place for us as mana whenua, that fate would eventually bring us to this point here where our father and our children's poa would adorn a place where people continue to come past.
Watercolour artist Tyler Kennedy Stent was chosen to recreate the photo. He's well known to locals as the artist behind the popular Ed Sheeran mural in Dunedin's Bath Street, as well as the tribute to prominent artist Ralph Hōtere in Carroll Street. The project's been in the works for almost 3 years, from initial talks to draft sketches and getting it signed off by the Runanga. The actual painting work itself was completed over 8 days in early April. Hawani's daughters Hannah and Sarah also helping out with the mural's creation.
And just think how fitting it is for mana whenua that we're represented at this place as well.
That image of friendship between the Crown and mana whenua, said to be enjoyed by tens of thousands of visitors each year passing through Dunedin Airport. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Invercargill was abuzz with the sound of budding engineers over the weekend as they got stuck into the art of robot making. The workshop was run in association with Great South and Auckland University, with the aim of teaching children skills similar to Silicon Valley.
Focused on their creations, these children aged between 8 and 14 were kept busy connecting gears, blocks and motors together to build and program their own robots. The event was part of Tech Week, with KiwiBots and Auckland University combining to hold it in Southland for the first time. The initiative is aimed at helping young people develop some crucial engineering skills.
So they're practicing their team building skills, working in partnership with their siblings or friends and caregivers, and also looking at their attention to detail with following the instructions and building a robot.
The time taken to follow the step-by-step guide was well spent, helping young engineer Brody Clay expand his skill set for his goal of
basically making games.
With their robots now functional, the experience may be enough to encourage a new generation to chase their technological dreams. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Large crowds gathered in downtown Oamaru yesterday for the start of the annual fundraising Bookarama sale. Queues formed early outside the former Noel Leeming building in Thames Street before the doors were thrown open at 9 a.m. The popular sale is organised by Oamaru's Rotary Club, with book lovers keen to get the pick of the first titles on offer. Funds raised from this year's sale will go towards a range of community projects, including the Waitaki Event Centre and a 3D printer for the Oamaru Public Library. Organisers say they've never had so many really good books donated to the event. By mid-afternoon on Monday, the sale had already raised around $12,000, about a third of last year's total revenue. The Bookarama is set to continue all this week, winding up on Sunday afternoon. A Dunedin academic and artist is exploring a fabric dyeing process that uses harsh no chemicals or that uses no harsh chemicals or artificial dyes. And she's using the dyes to add vibrant colour to add to the handcrafted clothing.
Capturing the colours of nature on handcrafted clothing. Dunedin artist and academic Kirsten Koch has been experimenting with a natural way to colour fabrics. The process she's using involves placing organic material directly onto the fabric.
Unlike a kind of immersive dye that people put a garment right into a dye bath, this one you apply a mordant to basically wool as best, and then you lay out materials directly onto that piece.
She rolls the fabrics up tightly, binds them and then steams them in a large pot.
Well, my parents had a native tree nursery when I was growing up, so I'm very interested in kind of conservation, but also learning more about the properties of New Zealand natives.
Drawing on that background, Koch is experimenting with native plants, including kapuka, mahui and mahui wa'u.
Most of them produce the colour they are, but sometimes they don't.
The final result is almost like a print, showing details of the original plants.
I started calling it eco-dye because that's what the process had been, I'd heard it referred to, but then I started calling it botanical dyeing, but it's also botanical printing.
Koch has been sharing the results of her experiments on social media. She's hoping to inspire others and teach them how to colour fabrics using her unique process. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Very clever. After the break on the South Today, a group of Invercargill women keeping families warm from thousands of miles away, and all your latest weather details. See you soon.
Drop when you
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Shall I make some scones?
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
Welcome back. Eastern European families in need are being sent an assortment of goods knitted by an enthusiastic group of women in Invercargill. The Knitwit group members have been hard at work making a collection of colourful blankets and scarves through to gloves and mittens. The group is stitching together their goods for Missions Without Borders, a charity organisation which aims to keep families warm during -20-degree winters. The blankets, scarves, jerseys and other items will be sent to a range of Eastern European countries, including war-torn Ukraine. The collection of knitted items by the Invercargill women will be on display at the Holy Trinity Church in early June before the goods are sent overseas to their final destinations. And now checking out today's top stories on the South today. Association Minister of Education Kelvin Davis visited Dunedin today to unveil an education package targeted at southern rangatahi. It's been more than 330 days for Queenstown, but the city has finally welcomed in an international flight from Australia. And about 30 riders took to their scooters to travel from Christchurch to Hokitika to raise money for the Cancer Society. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We welcome in Jo Simpson. Kia ora, Jo.
Hi. One Dunedin ratepayers group that vowed to be apolitical looks to be set to be wound up amid conflict over its purpose, but another is emerging. A Dunedin youth responsible for a spree of stolen cars has been apprehended by police. A New Zealand energy startup company is to launch a Bitcoin mining data centre next to the Monowal Power Station in Southland this month. And only 5 people told the Dunedin City Council what they thought of the projected 6.5 rate increase, and a mere 9 submissions were about car parking. Have the citizens lost interest in local democracy?
Great. Thank you very much, Jo. Okay. That's what's happening in the paper tomorrow. So now let's have a look at what's happening with the weather while you read it.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Some cold nights ahead this week with frost, but mostly fine during the day with a little winter sunshine peeking through. Starting at the top of the island, Nelson can expect a nice and sunny day and 17 degrees. For Greymouth, however, showers and a high of 14. Moving to Christchurch, expect sun with a few clouds and a high of 15. Moving south now, 10 degrees for all our southern towns. Showers in the morning for Balclutha and Catlins. Gore and Lumsden will avoid the rain, but will have a few strong winds. Across to the central region now, a high of 11 for Alexandra. Queenstown and Wanaka with a clear and sunny day on 11, and Tiano is 1 degree cooler on 10 with some cloud. Our northern towns, Oamaru has some showers and 10 degrees. Timaru is slightly warmer on 12 degrees with some cloud cover but no rain. The sun is out for Omarama and Twizel, a high of 12 degrees and moderate southwesterlies. And here in Dunedin, it's cloudy overnight with a low of 7 degrees. Cloud again for tomorrow with a few showers throughout the day, a high of 10 degrees and a low of 6. And for Thursday, expect sunny periods throughout the day with cold winds easing and frost developing in the evening, a high of 11 and an overnight low of -1. And in Invercargill tonight, showers and gusty winds with an overnight low of 6 degrees. For tomorrow, showers in the morning, which will clear by midday, a high of 10 degrees and a low of 1. And on Thursday, that's fine and sunny throughout the day with some cold winds. Expect to see some frosts, however, with a high of 11, but a cold overnight low of -2. And that's the news for this Tuesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz, and you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.